really a very elusive Indian. As soon as you're ready, tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? We are 4 lines from the top of page AYIN Hey. The line begins with Kulhi V'lochein ratzon. The Rebbe is explaining that. I'm sorry?
How many lines? I didn't hear. How many lines?
5 lines. Why are you so quiet? Are you feeling well, Daniel?
I'm getting out of a long. I'm almost.
Still have bronchitis?
Yeah.
Wow.
2 weeks.
All right, 5 lines from the top on page AYIN Hey. So the Rebbe is explaining like this. As he said initially, Midos are born and are drawn from the fact, from a principle that's called hergesh atzmi. He senses his own presence and the importance of all things having to do with him. This is the source of Midos. If you can identify Midos, the word Midah means measure, which means if you can identify specific actions, which would be going to the category of Midah, it's not really a Midah without having this, not based on hergesh atzmi, but something that's coming directly from inside, from the nefesh itself. That is not really Midos properly. This is in the category of ratzon. Ratzon is a completely different phenomenon. We started talking about ratzon, I said it's a very, very fine, very elusive. Sechel is below ratzon. Sechel draws from ratzon, so therefore to explain ratzon with sechel, even to expose it, is quite difficult. Just want to point to this. I started yesterday pointing out that we have the count. This is a sechel thing. 1 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and so forth, and then multiplication and so forth. This is a simple phenomenon of calculating what you have and so forth. This calculation is actually founded upon ratzon. Without ratzon, there is no significance and there is no meaning to this whole calculation. Like we said, what is the value of 10 people as a minion? Yeah, there's something valuable that comes out as a result of 10 getting together. Otherwise, just numbers. This is not a seichel thing, and this is just a worldly phenomenon. So I was thinking the simplest way to demonstrate this would be pebbles. Imagine somebody counting pebbles. Would that carry any kind of a significance? Would that go into the category of seichel? He's counting pebbles. It doesn't have any significant, any seichel significant value. Seichel does not dictate that you should count pebbles. Seichel dictates you should count money or people for whatever a reason that is. So we see that seichel is based on ratzon. Because pebbles have no value to the person, therefore counting pebbles does not go into the category of a seichel-diki activity. Human beings or money, lahavdil, do have a value to the person. And that's why there is significant, the seichel applies itself to it. I can identify it at least on the quantitative level.
I think I'm having a disconnect with this mashal, saying that it's by definition the number 3 indicates $3, 3 people, or 3 pebbles. By definition, the number 3 is outside of sechel and ratzon.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to explain. The number 3 is a seichel concept.
That seems where we say stuff like chut mushulash. We have
No,
three as a-
not what you said. In the world, in the physical world, number 3 has no significance whatsoever. It doesn't exist. Like I said yesterday, the Pasuk says, the two people are walking together. Something must have gotten them together. Otherwise, if two people are walking in the street.
Right. Okay. That already seems outside of the number 2. That seems like
Why?
a union. Why?
No, one second. Two people are walking.
Fine, but there the use of 2 is
Why?
way different from 2 plus 2.
1 second. No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
I'm pointing out that 2 plus 2 has a value only if there is significance of their get together. If there is no significance of it being 2, so 2 plus 2 doesn't exist
Okay, so that's saying at the most
in seichel.
right. That's saying at the most stripped down level, at the mathematical level even, that 2 is a human seichel. Because the example of pebbles is precisely the way people learn mathematics. 3 pebbles plus another 2 pebbles makes 5.
Exactly right. And that's what I'm pointing out all the time. That is not going to carry category of seichel. Seichel means a neshama sense. Seichel means how the human being perceives things.
Right, and that's part of why I'm not getting why we're using numbers and mathematics to illustrate.
Because I want to illustrate that even at the point of numbers, which is so obvious, so simple, even at the point of numbers, seichel does not apply unless there is a ratzon in that which you're counting. Just wanted to kind of point to the union of ratzon. We said many times, take something broader. A house versus a home. We all understood the difference between a house and a home. Physically, if you teach an architect in an engineering class how to build a house, you're not going to. You don't need to know about a home. You'll teach them how to build a house. But we all know that building a house has no significance whatsoever, but for the fact that it will end up to be a home. Who's going to build a house in the middle of the desert? Unpopulated terrain that cannot even be accessed properly. It's a house. It's not a house. A house is that which potentially is a home. This defining element, this is what's called seichel, based on ratzon. Because it has a value on the ratzon level, let's identify this ratzon a little bit more. I've said many times, animals also seek shelter. When it gets cold, when it is inclement weather, it's raining or snowing, whatever, they go and hide under various canopies where there are covers, various covers. What's the difference between a home, a human home, and an animal shelter? Hello? Do we sense a difference?
The animal is not, like, it doesn't have any importance. There's no importance to the place.
Exactly.
It doesn't need it.
The animal sees it only as a shelter against something. A human being, a home, is a projection of his own reality. Odom shein lebayis ein odom. You must have a home. A homeless is never a lost person. He's not a full-fledged human being. So here we have a clear point. The home is based on the fact that the human being has a ratzon for an established dwelling. It is not a shelter. From a shelter perspective, of course you will have it, but that's not what the human perception of a home is, a shelter. So therefore the Rebbe says that midos that are not based on hergesh atzmi, but are based on the perception of some kind of a truth, are not even in the category properly defined as midos. This is ratzon, directly ratzon, which means it represents the primary human value. A person's need, a person's desire for a home is not a midah. Which is a clear way to focus in on. It's not a midah. A person desires for certain kind of foods or for money, whatever it is, anything that adds to his self-value, self-identity, and self-worth, or his feeling good about himself, that is a midah. A home is not in that category at all. It's a primary definition of a human being. That is in the category of ratzon. All sechel, this is what I'm saying, all sechel is rooted in ratzon. What's meant rooted? If not for ratzon, there's no seichel. Okay. Now we continue on 3 lines on the top on page I9. V'lochein, and thus, for this very reason, that what? That ratzon applies itself to that which is the reality of the person himself, not what is good for him, but what he is himself. Thus, haratzon tofes b'ha'atzmo davko. The ratzon tofes, it relates and it identifies with the atzmus, the essence. Davka means emphatically. The ratzon does not identify with quality, but the actual presence itself. The Rebbe mentioned before the ahava of a father to a child, to a son, and son to a father. It's called a ratzon. Now, this sentence over here, ratzon tefes bo ha'atzmo davke, ratzon relates to the essence, emphatically, exclusively, is clearly demonstrated in this example. The love between a father and a son is not due to the son's successes, the son's capabilities, and wisdom. It's due to the father, he's his son. The essence itself, nothing. It's not based on his qualities. Certainly, he wants his son to succeed and be a good boy and so forth, but that is not the basis and the source of his ahava. And the reason that this ratzon relates to the atzmus davke, because it is something which is an expression of his essence. And as is explained elsewhere, the difference between ava and ratzon. Ava means love, and ratzon means will. The ahava, where ahava, love, tofeset, behispashtus, behayilum levad, behispashtus hayilum levad. It relates to and identifies with hispashtus, expression, giluyim. Hispashtus means spreading forth aspects, and giluyim and expressions only. How this inyan expresses itself and how it has, what effect it has. Mashenk in ratzon, in contrast, the ratzon tofes b'ho etzem. The ratzon grasps and relates to the etzem itself. Ukmei b'yahava ho'ehev el ho'oh. As for example, in the ahava, between the ohev and ohov, the lover and beloved. And here we're talking about, he says in parentheses, he's talking about be'ahava hatluya b'dova, not the initial ahava that is above definition, but ahava hatluya b'dova, ahava that is actually dependent on some specific reason why there is this ahava between them. The sibas ho'ahava he, where the cause that brings out this ahava is mipnei, due to the fact it is due to the fact that he is actually bestowing upon him the Midot, the quality of chesed, his kindness and goodness. Or in a different venue, there's a love mitzad ho'ilui shaloi, that he loves him because of his superior qualities. So there is a reason, and there is something that this love relates to and identifies with. Harei tzorich lozeh hisbonenus. So in order to bring out this ahava, tzorich requires hisbonenus, a reflection. He has to reflect upon it and think into it. The hisboinen, he has to actually focus in and reflect behatoi v'chesed, in the goodness and kindness shemashpi that he is bestowing upon him. The more he reflects upon this quality of what he does for him, the more he will have this sense of ahava. Or on the other mashal, he has to reflect mitzad ho'ilu shaloi. If his ahava is due to this ilu shaloi, to his supreme qualities, there too he needs his boinonus. He needs to reflect. In other words, just by meeting the person, there's not going to be an ahava, because this man is smart and good and kind. It has to be reflected. What is his goodness and kindness consistent, and what is his wisdom consistent? So his boinain, which means he has to reflect and think into behatoi v'chesed shemashpi aloi, the goodness and kindness that he is bestowing upon him. He has to actually reflect what he gets from him and reciprocate in kind, so to speak. Or in the other type of ahava that we said, where the ahava is due to his special qualities as a human being, so he has to reflect the supremacy and the special value of this person. Whereby, as a result of this, his bonus, he says where the ahava comes from. B'meila, and therefore, as a result, being that this ahava requires and comes as a result of reflection of certain qualities, therefore it follows that masek tefeses or ahava, that which the ahava relates to, he rag behispashtus v'agiluyim. It is only the hispashtus, that aspect of that person that comes out external to himself, spreads out from him. Vagiluim, and revelations. Shezehu sibazu ava, which is actually the cause for this ava. That which comes from the person, how he affects his outside, the surrounding. And this is the aspect of this other person that the lover attaches himself to the quality that comes forth from the other person, not the person himself, but to qualities that spread forth from him. This is when he attaches himself to nidbak and he actually becomes united with. In contrast, in the Ava and the Rotzin, the will and the connection between the Father, Son, and the Father. For that relationship and for that connection, there is not any need, his bonus, of any kind of reflection. Because of this rotzin does not come forth as a result of that he is bestowing upon him any kind of goodness and favors, or the rotzin is not also a reflection of his special qualities. Only exactly just due to the fact that this is his father. And what does this mean? This is his father. His father means Hainu Shehu Atzmi Umahus. His father means that this is his essence. Umahus, and this is his truth and reality. Few more words and then we'll stop for a moment. Ubeharotzin, and this rotzin, who toifes behoretze mamash, he relates to the actual essence, not to any qualities coming forth, but to the very reality of his presence. Behoretze mamash. This union that the Father, that the Son and Father is one essence. I just want to point out that superficially one would say they're one essence. And this is why they connect, because they have similar natures, similar backgrounds. And therefore they have similar interests. The real truth, however, is that this union that he is atzmi means that his being in this world is synonymous with his father's being in this world. He is defined by his father's being in this world. Which means that his reality is actually identified with his father's reality. It's not due to any functional quality. It is due to the very fact of his presence, of his existence.
Meaning, like, if it wasn't for his father, that he wouldn't exist.
Excuse me?
If it wasn't for his father, that he himself wouldn't exist.
That's right.
Or is it like that his father, provides for him?
No, that's something else. That's the other. But this you have to reflect what he provides for him, how good he is in him. The very being. He is his very essence. He is the one that is the cause and the basis for his being here in this world. In Torah, every person is referred to by his name and his father's name. His name, you understand? You have to identify the person. His father's name, one may argue that we may mention the father's name just in order we should know who we're talking about. But when you call him out to the Torah, it's not necessary. It's not because you want to know who you're talking about. Come out to the Torah because that's his name. That's him. This is the principle, we've spoken about this many times. Etzem umahus. There are qualities that come forth from a person, from a human being. Then there is the reality of his being in this world. The reality of his being in this world is the deepest thing that he has. Not because this is what he accomplished, but this is what the AYIN provides for him. This is who he really is. By the godly definition.
Again, when we say provide, when we say provide, we mean creates him. We mean brings him into being again. Same idea.
This is atzmi muhusay. This again points out the profound, phenomenal difference between the Torah view and the world view. In the world view, if people are the result of their own development and evolutionary process, there is not a reality to the person. The outer person is a circumstance that he has experienced. But when the Torah explains that every individual person is an actual creation, and he has his own unique neshama and so forth, and he has his father and mother, that will bring him into this world with an intended action, that gives him an essential presence. He is there because he is there, not because he serves some kind of a purpose. Okay? Alright. So this is the moshel, or the means by which we can understand the term ratzon. Ratzon means he is wanted. Wanted in contrast to he is loved. Loved has an explanation of why he is loved. Ratzon, his wanted, is due to his own reality. Both his own reality and the lover also identifies him on a personal level, on the lover's personal level. I want him. Not I like his qualities. I want him. This is the information. Okay. So we are at the end of this line and begins with the word atzmi. So far we spoke of ratzon in the moshel. Here in the worldly moshel, but the ahava between father and son, or son and father, we pointed out that this ahava is an essential ahava, due to the fact that it's one entity, a single and the same entity. The reality of one is the reality of the other. V'chein, okay, v'chein hu ha'inyan, okay, we have the place. V'chein hu ha'inyan beruchnis. The similar inyan is in ruchnis. This is how far we had a gashmis ikemoshem. This is also accurate, but this is begashmis. The inyan in ruchnis is similar thing. The midas of ahava where the midah of ahava per se, that which is properly called ahava, is he shebo al day his bonus. This is that which comes as a result of reflection. Behoyiloi vatei balakus. When one reflects of the superiority and the goodness of Elokus, of godliness. And he reflects also in the fact that the Midot, the quality of goodness that Hashem bestows upon us and upon him. This is the meaning from Ahab.
Is there a reason it says Tov twice?
What?
It says the Hatov Belikus and the Tuvai. Is there a reason that it says Tov twice?
Okay, we'll take it up when we get to that.
Okay.
That level of learning. Shehakiru v'hadveikus bozeh, where in that instance, in that situation, the closeness and the cleavage that exists, that is affected by this recognition, it is in the godly presence, that which is in a gilui, in an expressed level, not the essence of Elokus, but that which comes with Chinas Gilui and that which revealed itself in Elokus. So when you reflect in the goodness and kindness and the ways and so forth, you're talking about the Gilui, how godliness affects and reflects and is reflected in the world. Aval HaRatzoin, but the ratzon, the bechinas re'usa de liba, the ratzon that is called, that has the quality of re'usa de liba, the will of the heart. We'll be able to discuss it today. We'll leave it for the next. Bechinas re'usa de liba, tofeset be'atzmi senisod. That relates to the atzmi of the nisod. This does not relate to the quality that the Elokus bestows upon the world and upon him, but it is the very essence of its presence. As I said, this we'll have to discuss tomorrow. Loi baha yiluyim, not the yiluyim, not what is being expressed. It's called re'usa de liba, the will of the heart. All right, we'll leave this at this point, because we can't, this I need a little time to discuss. All right, have a great day.